Hey, fellow Norden 901 owners. Polito Adventures Bob here, going to talk to you about the standard windscreen on the standard Norden versus a larger GIVI windscreen that I'll put on the bike. Going to start out with my video here using some streamers that I had come up with to show the airflow of the standard windscreen with a lip windscreen on top of it. I put this on there to try and help the airflow up over the helmet. As you can see in this video, when I'm behind the windscreen, how the streamers respond, and then as I move around to different locations, you can see how then the airflow is affected. As you can see at the top here, it's not getting the air up over my helmet, getting still a little bit of helmet buffeting at this windscreen height. And of course, the stock windscreen is narrower. So therefore, the air on the sides is coming around that stock windscreen, and I still get that buffeting on the shoulders that a lot of you folks talk about. I certainly encounter that. I know that's only going to be helped in a limited way, but the big thing is I was wanting to try a windscreen. I'm tall, 6'3", long torso, and I wanted to try and get that air up over my helmet better than the standard windscreen would provide. I didn't do a video with just the stock windscreen because common sense would say that as you can see, that top lip extension is getting the airflow up higher, and if that wasn't there, the air would just be hitting me lower on the helmet. So I just did a video with this lip added on top of the stock one, and it's in a vertical position to help try and deflect the air as high as can be. I didn't do a video with it in different positions. And here, this video, I took the right-hand mirror off and left the left-hand mirror on. Again, just showing how the air is hitting me, still hitting in the helmet height. Of course, when you wear a visor, any air coming at the helmet is also amplified with the being caught on the visor. But mainly here, I'm going to be moving the streamers around. Have to kind of manipulate them a little bit to keep them flowing in the airstream. But you can see on the right side, as I go out, as I move out towards the end of the handlebar, the airflow gets a little less disturbed, and you can see the streamers go straight. But as soon as I come in towards the edge of the stock windscreen or the lip, the streamers start bouncing around, indicating a buffeting in the airflow. And of course, that's hitting me in the shoulders. And as I move over to my left side with the mirror, you can see, yes, there is some difference between the exact location that the airflow is disturbed. But honestly, with this stock setup, the difference between the left and right side is not dramatic. And then if you remove any type of stock mirror, and you might note these are basically not the stock mirrors, these are like double take similar type mirrors. And because they are basically the same, and some people have claimed that the double take is a vast improvement, I'm not necessarily going to agree with that. The biggest improvement is removing the mirror completely. But then you have to find some other way to attach the mirror, either in a bar end, or I know there's handguard mirrors. Something like that may definitely benefit. As you can see, when I am on the right-hand side versus the left-hand side, by not having the mirror there is some benefit. But of course, then you have the additional headache that if you have a bar end mirror, that's going to be at risk if you have any type of tip over in off-road terrain or off-asphalt terrain. The handguard mirrors look like a pretty interesting option. May try something like that sometime. But honestly, for me, I think the difference between having these mirrors on or having a mirror off is not a big enough difference to really have or go through the process of installing a different type mirror on the bike. I also wonder, using the handguard mirrors that flip inside the handguard, how the clearance works with the clutch and the brake. I haven't really got a chance to utilize those or see those installed on a bike to know if it makes a big Whoops, my recording cut off there. Basically, I was just saying a big enough difference to be worth it. Going on in the next segment of my video, you'll see that I have the large GIVI windscreen that I purchased online, installed on the bike. It's being new and not sure if I was going to keep it. You'll see the stickers that came with it are still on the windscreen. Don't think those are going to drastically affect the wind flow. So starting out here with the streamer, sorry, this is later in the evening. I tried to have calm wind conditions as I did all these videos, and in the Midwest, you got to shoot for the evening to get the best chance of that. So the sun is setting behind me. I tried to choose an emptiest road I could find near me, and as well one that any type of wind there wasn't going to be affected. So this road was an east-west. So you can see with the GIVI windscreen, which is a wider and taller windscreen, that air is being deflected out further to the outside of my shoulders. Again, I'm not a small guy. I'm 6'3", well north of 200 pounds, and I'll say somewhat broad shoulders. So you can see that this wider windscreen is definitely deflecting the airflow out wider around my body. Is it completely missing my shoulder? I'm definitely not going to claim that, but it definitely is an improvement on that airflow to the sides. Now, a little bit later, I'm going to show you why the width of the windscreen is limited on this bike by the fairing design. So thinking that, okay, well, if I just even get a wider windscreen on here, then it'll definitely get that air outside my shoulder. Well, that's not going to happen. And honestly, as you can see now, this airflow coming over the top is getting basically up over the top of my visor. Now, someone taller of torso than me obviously is probably out there riding this bike, but I'm going to think that's very few of you. Most of you that are shorter than me, this airflow is definitely going to get up over the top of that helmet. I found that this is not giving me any helmet buffeting at all from the top of the windscreen. Again, maybe a little bit coming around the side. Especially, I've noted if there's a crosswind, you're not going to avoid it. I think too many people are buying adventure bikes and thinking they're going to provide, because they have a windscreen, they're going to provide some gold wing or road glide type wind protection. That's just not going to happen. That's not this type of bike. That's not what these bikes are built for. I've had a Africa Twin, the standard version in that. I did all sorts of things to try and help, and I never could get rid of my helmet buffeting on that bike. I've rented other bikes. I've been on other ADV bikes, and most of them, especially if you're as tall as me, are going to leave wind on your helmet. I've actually owned naked bikes that I liked better because there was no deflection of the wind, and it's just hitting me in my chest and my helmet. And that seems to be better in the buffeting aspect. You'll note that right-hand mirror was still off in that video. Here you can see I'm showing how the standard windscreen is related to the full lock of the handlebar and the handguards, and that you can see on the GIVI that is going out pretty close to that windscreen. You're just not going to get a wider windscreen on the bike. This, I'm showing you that for off-road riding, this windscreen is definitely potentially going to be in the way when you're trying to get forward on the bike over rough terrain or climbing up a rough hill climb. I contemplated myself, and I have actually now put some half-inch spacers on the top mounting points to move it more vertical and forward to help out with that. But it's still going to be a consideration. Last thing I'll talk about is helmets. This has been discussed, and it certainly is something. The helmet design and the visor design is definitely something that's going to affect how you feel that airflow. This is a Fly ADV helmet and a Bell ADV helmet. You can see a difference in just the front profile of the helmets. The Bell being a little bit narrower. I think that's a little bit better than Fly helmets. I love Fly products, so this is not bashing them, but it's just a fact. As you can see here, the difference in the visor design. It looks like the Fly visor would let a lot of airflow through, but those wide areas on the side, I think, especially with the stock windscreen, was catching a lot of turbulence and buffeting and making my helmet shake. The bell visor just has a similar airflow, but those thinner sides and thinner attachment points, I think, just help prevent a little bit of that buffeting. With the GIVI windscreen, the bell helmet definitely was nice and what I'll be going with. Thank you very much. Again, I am not a creator. I am not here to make any money off content. This is purely to provide information for fellow Norden owners who are contemplating this type of modification. Thank you and enjoy your ADV riding.